Good morning, Jules. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Jules. I'm so glad you are here this morning. We are going to let Tiffany go out and come back in. But we are very excited about our time here this morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me, sweetheart?
Yes, we can hear you very loud and
Hallelujah.
clear. Hello, hello, hello. Good
Oh, look,
morning.
I'm
Good
turn
morning.
it down. I hear some feedback. But as I was saying, you guys saw me gesturing but couldn't hear me. But I am so glad to be back with you all at the JewelWell. We've
Yeah,
been on a little bit of a hiatus from the Well series for since our conference, and we'll have a chance to get into that just a little bit later in our
yeah.
time together. But we are so thrilled to be back with you. We're asking that as you come in, if you would like and comment, share it with someone, and just invite them to the well with us. This morning, I'm especially excited because we have our founder and our executive director, Dr. Tracy Cameron, with us. And this morning's focus is we're going to be reflecting a little bit on the impact that we've already had in the year of 2026, which I can't
Yeah.
believe we're halfway through it already. Jesus. But we're also celebrating and want to identify areas of growth that we have and looking ahead to what you can expect and the vision that we have for 2027. So, Dr. Cameron, we're so glad that you could be with us at the well this morning.
I'm glad to be here this morning. I want to go ahead and be very transparent. I've had a little bit of under the weather, so if I get to coughing, just ignore. I'll get it together. But I'm very glad to be here this morning. Just blessed, abundantly blessed. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So we're gonna do this like an interviews type dialogue on this morning. And if there are questions that you guys have, if you would drop them in the chat or let us know that you have a question, then we'll have Dr. Cameron answer those. Or if for some reason you're looking for answers from me about something, then I'll do the best that I can. All right. So, question number one. So, we're looking back from January to this point. So, our
Yeah.
first question is, as we look back at the first part of the year, what stands out to you most about what God has been able to do through You Are Jewel?
I think for me, I jump out to answer that question, but then I fall back because I think it's the elevation. I go all the way back to You Are Jules, and we're still in our humble beginnings. Even
Yeah.
5 years in, we're still in our humble beginnings. But just thinking back of what the not even realizing what the concept was way back in 2016. And then
Mm-hmm.
the concept of an online format in 2021. And just looking back across this year in 2026, how we have built and built slowly, continuing to build slowly. I can't pick out one thing in particular that just stands out for me. I think it's just the combination of things that we've been able to accomplish and add on this year. We've added on the partnership with the prayer breakfast here this year in the Mississippi Delta. We added on the bags of grace as a new community service project. We've really evolved as far as our conference is concerned, looking at it from the standpoint of just trying to fit into everyone's mold, but then realizing that we do have an audience and we do have um, an age range and a group, and not that we're excluding anyone, but really just kind of coming into who we are as as an entity. And I'm just very excited about it. So it's more of the internal things as opposed to things that people outwardly would see. For
Yeah.
me, it's just it's the evolution of
Yeah.
where we're going in the elevation. Yeah.
Yeah. I would add to that and say, just I've been able to see the drawing that is happening of us walking according to the path that God has given us. You know,
Yes.
light attracts light. And so having more women who are connecting with our mission and our purpose really come in. And that's been such an incredible blessing, not just to us, but to those that we serve and the communities that we represent.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, are there any particular stories? This could be in the news, events that are happening, programs you've seen, or moments that have reminded you why You Are a Jewel came into existence in the beginning.
Well, I think I mean that's off the top I can say with our conference. One of the key things for me was at a time in my life when I felt emotionally disconnected, didn't really know what all of those pieces were that I needed wellness or fulfillment in. And
Yeah,
I believe the conference brings all of those pieces together. It's not the size that we want at this time, but it's the size that it needs to be right now, and it's going to grow. But I think what we gained from the speakers, not just this year. This year was phenomenal.
it
But
really was.
just even branching out and moving locations and not feeling like we had to stay stuck in one location. And even the
Right.
thought of at the end of the conference this year, knowing that we are branching out regionally. And just all of those things make me feel very proud and brings me back every time. I look forward to it every year, just
Yeah,
bringing me back to why we were established in the first place. Yeah.
for sure. I think about, like you mentioned, it's not size that we're looking for, but for me, it's impact. It really is impact. And
Yes.
I love the formatting of the conference this year in that it was more of a hands-on application piece. So women were being taught things in real time and could
Hmm.
take those things into their lives once they left. And for me, that is what sets You Are a Jewel conferences apart from other ones that I've
Yes.
attended. Because I do go to, women's conferences, different places, and not to say they aren't phenomenal. And there is great teaching. And for the ones that are Christian specific, there's great preaching. But
Hmm.
there's not a lot of how do I apply this to my life? I hear that for you.
Right
And I'm
now.
glad you had that experience. But then what do I do? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so being able to walk away with a step-by-step guide of here's how I can begin to integrate these practices into my life, to me
Yeah.
has a huge impact that can't be seen with a count, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. So what are some things that you've learned from the things that didn't go exactly the way that we planned them?
I think I tried to initially, and I'm going back to the conference, trying to do it the way I saw other people do it,
Yeah.
or having that question of, well, it worked for her. why didn't it work like that for me? Or
Right.
it worked here, the same conference workshop where this individual may have had, let me back up. One of the things I think for me, not really just being a novice in the conference world and all of that, the numbers were a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
um, and even cost for the conference.
Yeah.
Just knowing that we have to build up to those things, and we have to make sure that we've established our audience. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that our very first conference kind of I guess jaded my thoughts, as far as, because we had an abundance of people there. And for me, I would say an abundance of people there for our first conference, for the first night. But knowing that um, speakers drive people as well, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
That's
so
true.
just those little things, that knowing that I've got to decide, and decide with our board that this is what we're looking for, and we're willing
Right.
to walk through the steps to get to where we want to be. And we don't have to look like anyone else. We don't have to subscribe to things that everybody else, that the conference experts say that we have to subscribe to. We don't have to do that. We need to do it the You Are Jewel way, the way, what's in
Absolutely.
our mission and what's our motto and what we've been called to do. And so
Absolutely.
that's where we are. Yeah, that's what I've learned.
I 100% agree, because what's the point of being a duplicate of someone else when God has
Yeah,
called us to be originals? That
that's
He's
right.
called us to meet needs that are going unmet. So it's not going to look like what's
That's right.
already in the marketplace. So yeah, that's really good. Um, so how have you seen the You Are Jewel community grow, not just in numbers, but in faith, in connection, in confidence, wellness, and purpose?
Well, I guess for me, initially, and I go back to, I start off with numbers again, because when I initially, You Are Jewel started off as initially as a Facebook page or a Facebook group.
Hmm.
And my thing was, get the people, get the people, get the people. If I get the people on the page, then we'll get it going. We'll get it going. But I think for me, the growth in the conversations, the
Hmm.
deeper conversations, the opportunity to meet those individuals who I may not have connected with, um, who have
In
that
any other
same
circumstance, yeah.
passion. Yes, who have the same passion, the same drive. Their goal, excuse me, their mission may not be exactly like mine, but we have many commonalities. And
Yeah.
so just being able to, my community, growing my community, and knowing that it may not be someone that's in the same city that I live in, or the
Right.
same, even the same state, but because we have this platform, it's allowed us to grow together. And it has allowed me to see um, other perspectives um, within the same realm of wellness, but it's
Hmm.
allowed me to see how it can look in many different ways.
Right.
And so I think that was my growth, and with the individuals that I've met, and the people who have grown uh, from um, my impouring, and people I
Hmm.
have grown from theirs.
Right. You know, when I think about that, one of the um, things that I love about the You Are Jewel community is that it's comprised of women who are not just taking in information, because I would say for a lot of years of my life, I learned a lot. I took a lot of online classes, different, interests that I had, and got a lot of information, but I wasn't doing anything with what I was getting. And so the You Are Jewel community to me is women who are ready to apply the knowledge that they're receiving. And that
Absolutely.
has been just a beautiful thing, not only to watch in the women around me, but also to experience in my own life. And when
Absolutely.
I'm reading you the question, I tried not to, go over these before we got on this morning. But talking about confidence, like even when I look at myself, year one of our You Are Jewel conference through now, and all the things that I've learned, all of the, even, my applying the word of God, to my life, applying nutritional knowledge to my life, adding in different things to my physical health. All of those things have helped me to grow in my confidence in that I can stand 10 toes down on whatever it is that I'm saying or I'm doing because I believe it. And I've
Yeah,
had enough experiences where I've tried and I failed, but I've never stopped trying. And there's something to
absolutely.
be said about that. I think that that is also the experience of You Are Jewel. There have been some times where we've had to pivot and change things. And you've said, alluded to many times this morning that, I started out in a way and that wasn't the way. And so I, made a turn. And so that's just a metaphor for life in and of itself, I believe. All right. So let's go to that was looking back from all the way from the origins through where we are currently. So now we're going to talk a little bit about your vision for the rest of 2026. So, as executive director, what is your vision for the remainder of this year?
I think one of the key things for me is our closeout. At this time of the year, we're wrapping up our JewelWell speakers, making sure we have everything in place, but we're really looking more so toward the future and where we're going for the next year. And I think our we have another project that we're going to be doing. Of course, we'll be doing our bags of grace that everyone could help with. Um, and Tiffany will be getting some more stuff out about that at a later date. But that will be our last community service project, I think, for the year.
Hmm.
But then we're moving into the new year and just really thinking about our goals. This time of the year, people don't realize when we start thinking about the conference right now for the next year. So just thinking about, what do we want to, where have we been as we just went through, where we've gone and where we want to go. And so I think it's just time for a wrap up reflection. As we're moving into the holidays, relational wellness is one of the big things, a part of You Are Jewel, and that relational wellness, which means that we need to spend time with family and spend time loving on our loved ones as we move into the holiday season and things like that. So really, just like I said, a reflective time, and just getting ready for our last big push for our community service, which will be our bags of grace. So,
Yeah. One of the things that I know was implied in what Tracy said, but I want to say explicitly is continuing to carry forth the things that we started at the beginning of the year.
yeah.
A lot of times we'll start on a trajectory and go through times where maybe your motivation is running low, your desire, you're fatigued, but taking some time to sip from the well, you know what I mean, to gain your strength so that you can go on and carry out the remainder of what it is that you have ahead of you strong, not quitting now because it may be this. Listen, think about it, this is a less exciting time. Even when we look in the world, at the
Hmm.
beginning of the year everybody's like, oh, new this, new that, you know what I mean, even or the end of the year looking to the next
Yeah,
year. But it's like we don't have to wait until 27 to continue what we've started.
absolutely.
um so what should our members be looking for over the next few months?
I think again, just preparing to give back for our bags of grace, as far as and we do that within our various regions. So each of our board members will be uh, hopefully publicizing ways to give to the bags of grace in their particular areas. But
Right.
also we have some phenomenal speakers coming up. If you've taken a look at the Facebook page, Tiffany's lined some people up for the remaining months of this year, and so we're looking forward to them. I think one's on spiritual wellness. Then we
I'm
have a
gonna go ahead
financial.
and drop them in now. So yeah, in September we have Miss Lisa Gardner, I'm sorry, Minister Lisa Gardner, who'll be talking with us about spiritual wellness. She was also one of our dynamic speakers that we had talking to us on
Yeah.
financial wellness at the conference. In October, we're going to be focused on physical wellness and what does that look like? Because when people think physical wellness, they automatically think exercise, but it's so
Hmm.
much more to it for you to be physically well, you know. And
Absolutely.
so we're gonna allow our speaker in October to get into that. I'm hesitant to say the name just yet because we need a final confirmation, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
In November, we're gonna have Miss Emma Mullins, who was Emma is like a jack of all trades. Y'all know
Yeah.
if you've been in the well that that's my friend, but she's just so talented and so go getter. You know what I mean? We partnered with her last year with her home.
Nonprofit.
Oh my
Hmm.
God, I'm not drawing the name right now.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, for young pregnant girls. She was also with us at the conference as our food truck vendor, and the food was phenomenal as it could
Yeah.
only be. And then she's also an insurance and tax expert and has been in that for years. So she's going to be talking with us in November. And then in December, we have our annual speaker that closes us out through the year on our mental health wellness. And Tracy, drop her name in here for me.
Nikisha Henderson.
I don't know why I can never remember Nikisha. I want to call her everything but Nikisha, but she is also great. She was one of our speakers at our very first
Very first
You Are a
conference.
Jewel conference. She was
Yeah.
there and just a
Closed us
wealth of
out the
knowledge.
past four years, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So have some really exciting speakers coming um, to sit with us at the well, and to give us some nourishment here over the next couple of months. Um,
Absolutely.
and I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it anyway, so you can share it with our audience. Are there areas of wellness where you believe we need to place a greater emphasis
Yes.
as we go
I do.
forward?
We know that everything, the spiritual wellness is the center, is the nucleus of everything else, of all those other wellnesses. But I do think that one of the things that contributes to um, the fallout or negative fallout of families and emotional, mental, all of that is financial wellness. That's one of the big things that it's something that we can see, something that we can feel in this economy today. Some of us feel it more so than others, but I don't think I don't think we've spent enough time
Right.
helping people to see how you can be financially well. You don't have to be, you really don't even have to be I know people want, I know everybody talks about a six-figure earner or seven-figure earner. That's great. Don't get me wrong. And there are a lot of
Right.
people who are those 6 and 7 figure earners, but you can be financially well as a five-figure earner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we want to just kind of talk through those things and what those small businesses, building those small businesses look like. How can you do that and still work a 9 to 5 and still have a life and still have that relational wellness piece, which is the other component there. Relational wellness is not
Yeah.
just for husband and wife, or mother to daughter, or son to mom, or kids
Right.
to whatever. It's a combination of things, and we need to be well balanced when it comes to those
Yeah.
wellness. And I think the financial and the relational, we've not spent enough time in those arenas, because
Hmm.
they're very personal. But I
Yeah.
would like to bring some of those things in a very non-invasive way, of bringing information and knowledge to our platform and to our the people who are a part of our community, that will
Absolutely.
help with that. Yes.
For sure. I would add to that intellectual wellness.
Oh,
We're
most
not, we haven't talked a great deal on, because, and the reason I bring it up is because it's something that inspires me, but it also helps me with my mental health. Having creative outlets and ways to express myself and use my mind in a way that it isn't just on a day to day, basis of just living life. So
I
that's
do
another
have
one.
one.
But
I do have one surprise for you, as well as the jewels with the intellectual wellness. I do want to start, and I know it sounds old school, but with the people within our, I think within our age range who are avid readers would appreciate it. We're going to start an inner circle book club in 2027. So that's one of our inner circle things that we're going to be doing. If you'd like to be a part of the inner circle, you'll be hearing more about that. But we're going to kind of attack the intellectual wellness piece, starting that with our book club and so on.
I love it. I love it because I've shared with you guys before that, after my mom's passing, I've always loved to read and would just devour books. And so after my mom passed, I wasn't able to retain what I was reading. And so I thought that I wouldn't be able to exercise my intellectual, self in that way. But let me tell y'all, Audible and audiobooks have been a game changer for me. When I'm telling you, I'm like, I show my husband every couple months, but this is my list. I don't know if you can see it. That's all the
Yes,
books I've read this year.
that's a
Like
blessing.
2 years ago, I had a goal to read at least one book a month. And then last year, it went to being 2 books a month. And so now it's just like, because with Audible, I don't know, hearing, but it makes sense. You know how there's a book that says, you know, by hearing we become changed, right?
Yeah,
And so in hearing the book, I can retain the information. So that's just a little tidbit for somebody if you're out there and you're having that same experience to where you're not able to retain what you're reading, try listening. So yeah,
I've
that
started
was
that.
for me,
I think I can
Tracy.
do it. Yeah,
Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
I said I started doing that, and I didn't think I could. I didn't think I was going to be.
Uh-oh, can
I
you
didn't think
still
I
hear
was.
me?
I can.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what happened. I just got notifications popping up on my phone, so maybe that was part of
That's
it. I'm
probably
not
what it
sure.
was. Yeah.
Well, this is going to be interesting, asking you questions and not being able to hear your. Okay, here we go. As long as the people can hear. Um, when you envision you are Jewel in 2027, what do you see?
Bigger, better, greater. Um, just reaching more individuals, reaching more women, touching more lives, having more lives touch us. Um, just expanding. And
I didn't hear a word of that, but I'm sure it was brilliant. Okay, here we go. Are there new programs, partnerships, initiatives, or communities you'd like to see us reach in 2027?
I would like to make more connections with our individual local communities, doing more partnerships. But I also want to make sure that we are firm with what we already have. We're reaching out. So if anyone's out there in grant land and you know of small grants that we can write, anything dealing with women's wellness, personal wellness, we would love to be able to write some of those grants, and get some of those funds to be able to help our various communities. Remember that we are a regional organization. Our board members span two states, and the gamut of definitely of the state of Mississippi. And so we want to just be able to reach out. So if you're out there and you're in any of those areas, or if you're not in those areas and you have ideas or grant ideas, or you just want to become a part of the community itself. Maybe you're not a social media person, but you want to get involved. We do have the youarejewel.com where you can reach out to us, join the mailing list there, and you can also mail us. And so just really kind of reaching out and expanding. Yeah.
Okay, I just heard the very last part. The sound came back. So yeah. Um, so I don't know if in that you shared about, no, I'll wait. I'll wait. I'm just excited. Um, what would make you look back at the end of 2027? So now we're transporting you to December 2027. What would make you look back and say we truly fulfilled the vision?
I think growth, and not just growth in numbers, but growth in conversations, growth in lives, I guess. I think the growth in numbers would be a manifestation, but we want to have more growth in individuals. I think that meaning our different services that we provide get bigger and better, more partnerships. Um, just looking to the next step, the next level. I think would be, yeah.
Okay. Um, what do you see as the greatest need that women have right now that You Are a Jewel is uniquely positioned to address?
That's a very good question. I think just the wellnesses in general. I think we're able to do a more individualized one-to-one type connections. And I think because we're spread out, across two states and, five or six regions um, of the two states, is that we have the ability to be able to touch different um, age ranges, different needs, different abilities. Um, at one point, let me go back. At one point, I felt like, and I had people tell me all the time, you're dealing with seven different wellnesses. That's too much. You need to hone it down. But I thought about it, and then I never could make myself do it because to me, all of those things make up the nucleus of what I was saying with the spiritual wellness. So being able to look at each of those wellnesses there and know that we have made an impact in each of those. As I was
Mm-hmm.
saying, you asked me earlier about you asked me about the wellnesses that you feel like we haven't done as much as I would like to do with. I would like
Right.
to look back at the end of 2027 and say, be able to identify precisely what we've done in all of those wellnesses, and not where we just have one that's more overwhelming than another outside of spiritual wellness, but those other six that we talk about, making sure that we have some equality amongst those and how we um, decided on, and then being very selective, continuing to do what we're doing, but still being very selective in what we expand to, making sure
Yeah.
that it connects to um, what our goals and what our mission is. So,
Yeah. Um, let's see. I'd like to present for consideration for a woman who's watching now who feels like in this season, this one area of wellness is needing more of my attention than the other ones. And I will say that's okay. Because as we go through seasons of life, and I said that because I think it's okay for You Are a Jewel as well, that, you know, we are women who pray. right? On being part of the board. And
Yes.
so the things that we're bringing, the concerns that we're bringing are things that the Spirit is bringing to us as a concern for this community. And so, with that, there are going to be seasons where, and I do believe, I completely agree with you that in the coming year, the relational, the financial, and the intellectual will have center stage because those are needs that are rising. This year, I think there was a lot of need in spiritual
Yes.
wellness and emotional wellness and mental health. And so those have been,
Yes.
the areas where you probably have seen me share. Because if those that don't know, I'm the person that's sharing the, creating the post for the You Are a Jewel page. So if you're seeing more of those, that's because my my friend, my comforter, is sharing with me that women need this, at
Yes.
this point in time. And
Yes.
not just me, but with us, it's things that we are all sensing and feeling in our own regions, in our own lives, in our communities. You know what I mean? And so
Absolutely.
I think it's okay for there to be seasons where one is getting more shine than others because that particular area isn't in crisis mode right now. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I'm really grateful that we're able to do that and that we're made up of such a diverse group of women that we are able to speak to the needs of some of the things that we're seeing. And sometimes it's just I don't watch the news particularly, but news comes to you, right? Whether it's through
Yes,
social
sir.
media or people you're in relationship with, so you hear about what's going on. And so there are certain things that my heart just is broken over, and in that season, that's the focus. You know what I mean? So I love that we have that level of sensitivity to
And we
hearing.
have to
And
be fluid. And our
yeah,
goal is to be fluid. Our goal is not to be so rigid with what we're doing that we can't shift because we're about, a lot of people are about the product or the thing. We're about the people. And
yeah,
and that's why it's so important for us to stay broad, and inclusive of um, all those wellnesses that we are inclusive of, because we need to be fluid. We need to know when there needs to be a shift with the time. Now, you also asked me a question. I would like to get to a point where we are um, in a place of fiscality where when something arises, we're immediately able to jump in and be a part of the action, I guess, without a blink. Now
mhm,
that is a goal that I am praying and asking for, that we can get to the point where we are ready. We're already really ready and willing, but the part of us being able, and that's where we need our community's help,
right.
and doing that. And I know you're going to talk about our store and things that are coming up, um, because we're not about soliciting. We don't solicit. Our goal is to help, is to be
Right.
there when people need us. And so we just want to share ways that if you are wanting to help and help us to move You Are Jewel to the next level, then then we can do that. And that's gonna be my cue right there. All the grandbabies are waking up, so so, so the noise will will prevail in a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
So wanted to
Yeah.
kind of
And so one of the ways that our community can do that, you guys, if you're not already if you haven't gone to the You Are a Jewel website and signed in to become a part of the community, that way you're getting our emails, you know what's going on with us, you're able to know ahead of time, what's happening before maybe even you hear a verbal announcement of it. You can do it there. Or if, what you've heard on today, the impact that we're trying to have in the places that we've been sent. If you would like to partner with us, there is a donation link. You can go on there. You can make a one-time donation, or you can make a recurring donation on a monthly basis. You can choose what that is. We don't have a level where it has to be a minimum of, whatever. If you want to contribute $5 a month, we're going to say thank you for that $5, because it really is going to help women and, mothers,
And
those
young
that have children, to
people.
be able to live a life and receive the things that they need,
Mhm.
to make life better. So you can partner with us that way. And as Tracy mentioned, we have gone ahead and added an online store to our webpage. Currently, you can purchase our latest t-shirt from our conference. It is a beautiful purple. I don't know, Tracy, do you have yours nearby?
I don't,
Okay,
but it, but it
it's a
that was on the
beautiful
website.
lavender color. You've seen it on the website or on the You Are Jewel Facebook page and Instagram, but it's also available on the website. The monies for that go directly into You Are Jewel. We are not making a penny to spend um salaries and this, that, and the other. Everything is going to You Are Jewel for the purposes that we're here. You'll notice that Tracy and I are both wearing You Are Jewel shirts. She has on the white one with the bold, vibrant
Yeah,
women's print. Um, and
make
then
sure
I'm wearing our black with the jewels and the different wellnesses. Now, these currently are not on the website, but those are going to be coming soon, so that you can purchase those as well. And again, all the proceeds go. Later on, the store will be expanding and we'll have some other offerings, and same rules apply to anything that we add to that store. But that's another way that you can contribute and help us to do what it is that we've been called to do. So I got the cue that we need to be wrapping it up because the grandbabies want you. So I'm going to give you your final question, Doc. If you could paint a picture of You Are Jewel 3 years from now, what would you want to see? What would you want every woman who encounters this organization to feel, know, and believe about herself? So I
I
know
want
that's
to,
kind of, spread. So 3 years from now, what would
I
you want
want
to
them
see?
to I want to see the numbers in the community grow. I want the women who are already a part of the community and those who are wishing to become or want to become or will become a part of the community to feel as if this is a place for them. Like they've arrived, they've made it home. Um and what was the other one you said? See, feel.
And what would you want them to feel, know, and believe about herself?
That they are welcomed, that this is an inclusive place. All are welcome, not just welcome to um, be a receiver of information, but also if you notice that um, our site, especially in the part in the group page, the private group page, we have individuals who are able to um, uh, comment and just I want them to feel included and inclusive. And I think that we'll see that in the numbers growing in our in-person events, and just those individuals who are just wanting to become a part of our community. And that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think one of the beautiful things about what you said is that there is nothing like feeling like you belong.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even when we go back to the beginning of the conversation, when why you started You Are Jewel, and you said you felt like, life was happening, but you were disconnected from it. We have so much to gain from community, and that's what we want to offer with You Are Jewel. In
Yeah.
the private group, we are able to have more intimate exchange, and I expect that you'll be seeing a lot more of that. The public page will be more for announcements of things that are to the public, but the
Yes.
private group is a place that's really been set apart for us to cultivate relationship and to be able to share our own knowledge, because this is a page that different people are facilitating, but it is open to every woman. And we believe that every person has something to contribute. And so if you're looking for a place to do that, we invite you to go to our Facebook page, to find out what's going on, to join the group from there, and just to get involved. Like, we know there are a lot of lurkers on social media, but we're looking for those that are, wanting to be active participants, that they want to receive, but they also know that they have something to give.
Well, and we
So,
also want to reach out to those who may not be Facebook people or Instagram people or whatever. We have a YouTube page. The link was on, so some of you may be viewing from YouTube now, but we are encouraging you all to join the email list from the web page
website.
website. We're not trying to bombard you with emails with solicitation. That is not our goal at all. But we want you to be able to get the information firsthand, if you're not a part of social media, but also jump on over on the YouTube page. We're trying to grow our numbers over there as well. We want to get to the place where we can go live on our YouTube page. We've not hit that number yet. But we will be, things will be posted over there, and they are posted over there. But we want to grow those numbers as well. So wherever you feel most comfortable, we feel like we have enough enough locations, places, private pages, public pages, different platforms where you can be a part of You Are a Jewel, even if you don't, like I said, you're not on the social media piece. So just join the community. Reach out
Yeah.
to us. My number is on the pages. My email's on the pages. So you can email me directly. If you say, you know what, I'm not on any of that, but I really want to get involved in everything that You Are a Jewel is doing, then just connect with us. Connect with
Or
us.
you can also email us at YouAreAJewel, uh, 2022
Yep, at
at
Gmail.
gmail.com. Yay,
I
I got
got
it
my
right.
head. That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Doc,
So
we want to thank you so much for being with us this morning to talk about the vision where we reflected, we reimagined, and we're rising. And so we just thank all of you who have watched, or those who may see it later on the replay. We want to thank you for taking the time out to hear what our executive director had to share with us this morning, and to hear about where we're going. If you have any questions on anything that we've shared today, reach out in one of those formats, whether it's email, Facebook, Instagram, or even our YouTube, because this will be shared to our YouTube community as well. We want to thank everyone and ask that you have a wonderful day on this fine Saturday. See you next time.
be
Bye.
well.